And good afternoon. Welcome to Life Unrehearsed. My name is Matt Del Vecchio, specializing in life transitions, home care, and the senior living industry.
And I'm Corrie Matt, a clinical social worker and psychotherapist specializing in grief and loss.
Coming right up on the first half of today's show, her grandfather loves lasagna, so she's baking them en masse to help him and others with Alzheimer's. We'll have the dynamic father-daughter duo in just a minute. Corey, can't wait to talk to them. Speaking of that, she's doing such a good thing for a good cause. Have your kids ever done something like this with you or others?
Well, I was thinking about this as we came up with this topic to have on the radio, and I've involved my kids from very young in federation activities. So they once went collecting food cans for homeless shelters, etc., and of course with camp. They're both of them, when they can be involved in camp there. So they're doing things, whether it's a fundraising activity for camp or actually volunteering at camp. It's a great message, I think, for kids to get. What about you?
Yeah, no, we absolutely have to try to encourage any family members. I guess what would come to mind immediately, this would be pre-pandemic when we did, and you participated in this, the Hug a Senior Day, where we had over 100 volunteers, hopped on some school buses and went around to a whole bunch of seniors' residences and hugged a bunch of seniors. And this was really touching for them and for me, quite frankly. So whatever we can do to encourage the kids. Corey, what do we have coming up on the second half?
On the second half, we're going to talk about what is the financial and emotional toll on caregivers and what can be done about it. We have specialist Dr. Amy Dupuy. She's going to be our guest, and she's going to discuss this very growing issue. That's all coming up and more on our Helping Moms and Dads segment just after the 3:30 news.
Yeah, I can't wait to have Dr. Amy on the show. We've had her before, and this particular one, it sort of flies under the radar about the financial and emotional toll of caregivers. So looking forward to that on the second half.
Yeah. So here we are. I was so touched when I read about this in the Gazette. It was in the Suburban. It was all over Facebook. So if you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. Here's a man who wanted to give his daughter a lesson on Alzheimer's awareness. And so that's how it started, but it really morphed into a father-daughter initiative. And I think it's a whole family initiative now that is combining the love of cooking with raising funds to support a very, very important cause. So today we have Vince Pisano and his daughter, Vittoria, who's 11. They're going to be on the show to help talk about how they're raising money for their grandfather and for others who are living with Alzheimer's. Welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
So, hi, sweetheart. So, Vince, perhaps you can start with, how did this all begin?
Well, it began obviously, sadly, when my father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I think one of the most difficult things as a parent is to try to explain to children why this is happening and the repercussions of this horrible disease. So Vittoria has always been like a mother goose wanting to help everybody, right? So one day she mentioned she wanted to do something for her nonno, her grandfather. So she wanted to raise some funds. So we tried snow removal on the stairs, and she tried some slime to try to sell at school. That didn't work out well, so she was a little disappointed. But I know she has a love of cooking. She loves cooking with her mom and her grandmother. And I said, perhaps we could cook something. And instantly, Vittoria thought of, Dad, let's do lasagnas. Grandpa, Nonno used to love lasagnas on Sundays when we go have lunch there. So we can do it and we can sell it. And, I was blown away by it. And I said, hey, let's give it a shot. Why not, So that's how Lasagna Sundays was born. Lasagna being my father's favorite meal, and Sunday lunches with the family was always something special. So, and it took off, Corey. It just took off, and we're pleasantly pleased, obviously, and very touched by the love and support of everybody in Montreal. I mean, our wonderful mayor here in Rivière-des-Prairies sent Vittoria some flowers last year, thanking her for what she's done. We had the support of the Ferrari Club as well. Mr. Joe Renda was very, very supportive, very generous as well. But at the end of the day, guys, it's the smiles that we put forward to some people that are buying the lasagnas. I mean, I've realized more and more people are touched by this horrible disease. And I think what's important is, aside being hurtful for adults, it's very shocking and, for children as well. So
Sure.
we thought of doing something therapeutic, at this point.
Yeah, and therapeutic for many reasons, Vince, and good on you and getting Vittoria involved. And I had the opportunity.
Interrupt there, Matt. I'm sorry to interrupt. Jackson's here with us, and he's our little sous chef, and I wanted to give him a little props with my little Jackson here. So.
We can't forget about Jackson, but both of you. I had the opportunity. I met with Vince and Vittoria just this morning. I bought my lasagna, and we're having it tonight, in fact, and looking forward to it. So I met Vittoria as well, and what a champ, Vince. I think you guys are really doing something else, something special here. And again, for your dad, he has Alzheimer's, and from what I understand, you're giving a portion or donation of every lasagna made to the Alzheimer's cause, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. We give $5 for every lasagna sold. Like I mentioned, some people give a lot more, and we put that in the pot as well. That explains why we've reached over $13,000 of donations to the Alzheimer's Society. And again, I can't emphasize enough the generosity of West Islanders, St. Leonard, RDP. It's just we're overwhelmed by the generosity. You see the good side of humanity at this point. And we shed some tears. We made new friends, and we're just very pleased. It's very therapeutic for us to do this and try to make a difference. Sure. The ultimate goal, Matt, quickly is when a cure is found. I want everybody that bought a lasagna to feel good about themselves, that $5, maybe that $10 made a difference in finding a cure. That's the main goal here.
Fair enough. Vince, that's the voice of Vince Pisano and his daughter Vittoria, and Jackson, who's in the background somewhere, and I suppose your partner as well, Vince, who are making lasagnas as an initiative to raise funds for Alzheimer's awareness. Here's an interesting question. You decided to do lasagnas. Vince, whose recipe is it?
Well, it's a combination of secret recipes from my mom, my wife, and Vittoria. Vittoria came up with what you ordered there, Matt. She came up with the veal and chorizo. My wife.
Way to go, Vittoria! It's so far as a big hit.
So we put a little Portuguese flair to it, and it's been very popular actually, with the chorizo. Sausage.
So in all, I believe you're offering 5 different lasagnas. What type are they?
We have the tomato and cheese. You want to say it, Vittoria? Go ahead.
There's tomato sauce lasagna. There's a meat sauce lasagna, and there's also veal and chorizo, and there's also I think veal and gluten free. And we could also put like bechamel and eggs and stuff inside.
Yep.
That's fantastic. That's so great. So how does this work exactly? Who does what? Who cooks? Who prepares? What's this? Who dishwasher? How does that work?
Well, luckily for us, a dishwasher was invented, so that helps us out. Everybody helps out there, Corey. My wife helps out, and my wife and Vittoria make the sauce. Then Jackson and I, we make the dough. And then at the end, we're grating the cheese, and it's all a combined effort. Where we prepare the lasagnas, we put a little personal touch with a little sticker there about how to cook it, and quite frankly, Corey, that's it. I mean, it's at the beginning it was very trying because we were trying to experiment and we were losing a lot of time, but now we got it down packed,
Well, you obviously do have it down pat, and I think you're making it sound quite simple when in fact it really isn't that simple. It's quite the factory you've got going. Homemade, you've got some, if you check out our Life Unrehearsed Facebook page, Vince, you sent some wonderful pictures of you in the kitchen, and we're not just talking 1 or 2 lasagnas. You guys are really pumping them out, and this is a labor of love for such a wonderful cause. And, Vince, we're going to bring Vittoria in. We have to head out to traffic, but we'd love to hear from Vittoria, who was so cute this morning, said, Dad, we've got soccer practice. Are we going to be able to make it for the interview? So, Vittoria, hopefully soccer practice went well for you. We want to bring you back on the air after our traffic update so we could hear a little bit more from your perspective. But first, let's head out to the CJAD Traffic Center, and we're going to hear from Mark Shaloub.
Welcome back to Life Unrehearsed. I'm Corrie Sirota with Matt Del Vecchio, and we are talking about lasagnas, for sure, with Vince Pisano and his daughter, his 11-year-old daughter, Vittoria, as well as his son, Jackson, and his wife, who are all talking about their lasagna initiative that is to raise funds for Alzheimer's. It's such a heartwarming initiative that we're thrilled about. Vince, we actually would love to have you hand the mic over to Vittoria so that we can hear, if we can get that music turned down a bit, so we can hear Vittoria. Thanks.
I like the song, but not that much.
Thanks. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, thanks, Cedric. So Vittoria, I want to hear, you had this beautiful idea. It's blowing up. It's taking off. So what is your feelings about the whole project?
Well, it makes me happy to see that I put a smile on people's faces. And not only that, I'm always happy. I become happy because when I get the money, we also donate to Alzheimer's. And it just makes me happy that the amount of money we gave to them to help them find a cure to cure this awful disease.
Yeah, it's it really is. Vittoria, you're doing such a wonderful thing. And I know, Vince, you do want to say something which you feel is quite important. If you could just quickly talk about, I guess, the foundation that you have set, what the kids have learned at a young age.
Well, you know what, Matt? I mean, I coach football and I coach minor league football, and I've always believed kids, could do a lot more than what people think they can. You treat them like adults and show them what's important. There's no telling what kids can do. I mean, my kids, Vittoria and Jackson, they had to grow up pretty fast. I mean, my wife was sadly diagnosed with Lyme disease 7 years ago, so that was tough to explain to the kids as well. And just when we finally get that going, my father, their grandfather, gets Alzheimer's disease. So I mean, it was a double whammy for my kids. So I mean, the most difficult part there, Matt and Corey, was, again, how do you explain this to kids? How do you explain why this is happening? They're a tender young age, and they need to understand why this happens, and instead of being negative about it, try to be positive about it, and try to make a difference. I mean, Vittoria now wants to be a doctor, perhaps, and help people, with that need help. And of course, they just, it's overwhelming what capacity they can do, what kids can do. It's incredible, and I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of my whole family, and we look forward to continuing this until we run out of time. We run out of maybe energy at this point.
Run out of pasta.
Yeah, run out of pasta. That's not a problem, Corey. We'll make it. We'll find it.
Okay. I have to tell you that unfortunately we can't because of COVID in studio, but Matt and I are sitting here smiling from ear to ear, as I suspect so many other people listening in to Life Unrehearsed are smiling, because what a feel-good story. What a unfortunate tragedy that your family has had these things that have occurred in your family, and yet you've taken them and you've done whatever you could to help put a strong, positive, feel-good message to your kids and to everyone else out there about how you can take a situation. This is Life Unrehearsed. This is what we mean when we say situation happens. What are you doing about it? And what are friends and family saying to you?
Well, they're very overwhelmed. Like I mentioned, our mayor here, Caroline Bourgeois, had sent us flowers. And, like I said, we shed some tears, lots of hugs, and we made some new friends. Friends have been extremely supportive as well, of course, as expected. And again, you'll be surprised how many people have someone with this horrible disease. So it touches home with a lot of people, right? So, so the goal, like I mentioned here, is to maybe enjoy this lasagna on behalf of the person maybe that's still with us or no longer with us, but at the person's honor, you enjoy beautiful, delicious lasagna. You'll see later on, Matt. I think you're going to enjoy the lasagna there. So.
We can't wait, Vince. I'm telling you. Well, Vince, the community has really stepped up. It is so wonderful to see. You've raised over $13,000 so far, $5 at a time, and some additional wonderful donors. You know what? This is live radio, and we just received a text a few minutes ago, and I'm hoping Cedric was able to come through. Cedric, were you able to reach Rena?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Could we throw? Is Rena? Are you there, or can we get Rena on the line?
Yeah. Hi.
Okay.
Matt,
Hi.
Corey, can
Now.
you hear us?
Hi.
Yeah, we could hear you now, Vince.
Perfect.
I don't know if you've ever met Rena. We've had Rena on our show. She's listening to this live, like we are here.
Oh.
And Larry's there too.
Yes,
Rena and Larry Fisher, wonderful people, wonderful philanthropists, and they would like to say a little something to you, Vince, and your family. Rena, go ahead.
So, Vince, and especially Victoria, we wanted to tell you we're listening to the show as we often do, and we are so touched. Not only are we familiar with Alzheimer's and with people in our family, but the effort that you're making and raising the money and creating awareness too. I think it's wonderful that you're on the show. It's wonderful that you're doing this. And we'd love to match your donations to the Alzheimer's Society to the tune of $15,000 from the Jacqueline Fisher Foundation, which is a foundation in honor of our daughter, who would be so behind you. I think she would applaud Victoria incredibly and really relate to what you're doing. It's so important. So we're very happy to do that. And
Rena, thank you. Thank you so much. We're so touched. I'm speechless. Thank you so much. You know, there's another example, Matt, Corey. Like I said, people have come through above and beyond, and Rena, Larry, thank you so much. This is live radio, so I'm speechless right now.
I was going to say, Vince, live radio, not so great to be speechless. But that said,
that's what I was ridiculing right now. And
but the truth is, what Rena had texted us, and I just said, she said, give us your coordinates. I said, no, we want you on air because you are not you. We wanted to render you speechless. Thank you to the Fisher family for in Jacqueline's memory for such
and our pleasure. And we wish you much success with this, and may they find a cure very quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rena. I appreciate it.
Really kudos to you, Victoria. Really, you're a role model, and we need more youngsters like you. So that's really wonderful. And that's the mission of our foundation, is to support grassroots organizations like yours. Not organizations, but initiatives, I should say, like yours. And it's really our pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Rena. God bless you guys. God bless you. God bless the Fisher family. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, Matt, Corey. Bye.
All right.
Bye. Take care.
Rena and Larry, thank you so much for this wonderful surprise. Live radio, there you go.
Yeah.
And that is from the Jacqueline Fisher Foundation, their daughter, so dear to their hearts, and they're doing some wonderful causes. And here's a prime example. Well, Vince, Vittoria, that came out of nowhere. You got another up to $15,000 being donated to Alzheimer's for your wonderful lasagnas. That being said, we're wrapping it up really quick. How can people order your lasagnas?
Go ahead, Vittoria.
Well, all you have to do is that, if I'm correct, you have to go on
Facebook Messenger,
just
under my name.
You message him what you want, and he'll take care of it.
And so let's just repeat. It's Vince Pisano, Pisano, right?
Correct.
And
just
then
think
you
of
just
the Leaning Tower of Pisa and add NO.
All right, there you go. We'll remember that. It's a Facebook Messenger. They'll explain how it works. They have drop-off points, and it is just so wonderful. And Vince, we're going to find out. We're going to give it a try tonight at my house. So thank you so much, Vince, Vittoria, Jackson, Vince, your wife. I know she's listening in intently, and we really thank you for coming on air and wish you all the best and continued success.
Corey, thank
with
you
those
so much. God bless you guys, and buon appetito, Matt.
Bon appetito. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right, Corey, what do we have coming up on the second half?
Coming up, and what is the financial and emotional toll on caregivers? Well, we're going to talk about what that toll is and what can be done about it with specialist Dr. Amy Dupuy. She's going to be our guest to discuss this growing concern. That's coming up on our Helping Moms and Dads segment after the 3:30 CTV News Update.